Hi everyone, welcome to our Treasure Home Wednesday night. Hey everybody! Well, I trying the EV Max and it wouldn't let me put in there what I was saying. So I said I would be there shortly. So, thank you so much, Lori. I appreciate it. Woohoo! A new channel member. So be watching because I'll make something special for I'll little thing and all. This thing not let me go live. All right, there we go. I gotta make sure I was live. It wasn't showing me. All righty. So we have Rebecca and Chris and Lori in the chat. Thank you, TV watchers, for being here and everything. And people who are watching in the background. I appreciate it very much. And we're going to get started. So, all right, let me go get the book because I thought I had it over here. Oh, I do, but I just was behind the computer. So I have, I really need to get the other one, but I have read this one up to where it's supposed to be, and then it talks about gives you the list of food. So we'll be talking about that tonight. Um, my, oh, sweet, thank you. So my son and my daughter-in-law have been looking up different herbal teas, and they found this one. It's by Bigelow. It is the butterfly pea flower. Um, this smells, oh my goodness, it smells like grape Kool-Aid. First I was like blueberry muffins and everything, but because it says Sapphire Bay, it does like smell like a maybe blueberry Kool-Aid. If y'all remember that, oh my goodness, this smells so good. You can just, and it does. It will be blue because I've got it right here in my Snoopy mug, and there's the tea bag. You see the water dripping? It's actually blue. And I'm like, oh my goodness, ooh, it's hot. I have the seeds to grow the flower, but it's in storage. So I may have to sit there next year and get me some more of those seeds. And it still smells the same way. Oh my goodness, it smells like blueberry muffins or like a cobbler, grape Kool-Aid, blueberry Kool-Aid mixed together. Yeah, it's still hot. I'm not gonna burn my mouth. I got a lot of things going on anyway. So tomorrow I go for my third set of shots. I was doing all well and everything. Monday they went and got the prescription medicine of Allegra, and they didn't fill the prescription right. They filled it with the generic brand, so we ended up having to pay for it. So I will talk to my doctor tomorrow about that. And I was like, if that's the case, I just buy the Allegra over the counter. It costs just the same price. So I'm going to try to get the camera up close. So today, I kind of like yesterday, I was out there in the garden. So I took the Allegra, just got the one from the pharmacy. That didn't do nothing for me. The over-the-counter Walmart does better than that thing did. So, but yesterday I was in the garden. So I had some videos coming out about the garden that was from last week. So, but I'm gonna do a new one because I took stuff out and planted new stuff. But yesterday being in the garden, not too much of a reaction, but my eyes weren't watering, and they haven't been doing where I had to do this as much except yesterday. So today I was outside, pulling stuff out and planting again and everything. And I was like, all day, I'm like, this afternoon, I'm like, what in the world? So I didn't even take my mirror to look. So I kind of know now what it all feels like around my eyes. So I looked in the mirror. I'm like, "You're kidding me." All right, so it's kind of gone down now. I'm trying to get up close enough so y'all can see me. But all right. So this is my left eye, and right through here is really dry. Now on the pictures, I got them saved, but right here is your bone. Okay, so y'all can get understand what happened. Right here is your bone. Well, right here, and I'll put those pictures. I don't know if you probably can see it. It looks like an X. Well, for years, so yeah, 50 years. So almost 50 years, nobody's seen that scar. So when my eyes were really inflamed and everything, a few months ago and everything, and swollen down here, I asked Anastasia, I said, "You see this spot right here?" She goes, "Yeah, it's red." I said, "No, you see it looks like an X." She got close. She goes, "Yeah." I said, she goes, "It's wrinkles." I said, "No, that's a scar." She looked at me so funny. I said, "Yeah, right here where that red spot comes up, it's a scar." She goes, "How did you get it?" I'm like, "Okay, so it was, I was 6. So I'll be 50 years. I want to say it was 1976. So I was 7. So it's 6, 7. All right. So it was, yeah, 7. So 50, not 50, 48 years. Anyway, my brother and I were racing in the front yard. So there's a fence here and there's a fence here. And it's chain link fence. So there was nothing else back then. So we were racing from fence to fence. And we were going from this fence to this fence. And I got to this one. And what I did, with the momentum, I went down. I grabbed the bar. And, the twist parts are up. So I grabbed and I went down. Because, I was short. I was kind of like even with it. And when I went down, that metal bar, twisty thing went right here. And when my brother screamed, what he did was scream my name, and I come up, and there's blood. He thought it was in my eye. He goes, he was panicking. He went inside, to get our parents, and they came out, and I was like, "No, I didn't get my eye. I just got right there." So, you go to the hospital? Nope. Put ice on it, put the swelling down, put a Band-Aid, and he kept on going. I was just like, it's okay. So that scar, I'm not seeing, oh my goodness, yeah, not long of a time. 48 years or so. So it's like, so when my eyes, it started with my eyes, I was like, wait a minute, that's not my ankle, that's the scar there. And that spot will be sore. So I'm just like, oh, that's not right. But that's okay. We're going to do okay. All right, I'm trying to see. Hey, Scott, how you doing? All right, thank you. So tonight there's a few things I want to talk about and everything as far with the food allergies and healthy eating and everything, and what I have learned about reading this book. I have got to get the other one um, that they came out with. So there is a series of these books. Um, Eat Right for Your Blood Type, Live Right for Your Blood Type, Eat Right for Your Blood Type, Complete Blood Type Encyclopedia, then Eat Right for Your Baby, Blood Type O, Blood Type A, and it's all food, beverages, and supplements. Um, Blood Type B and Blood Type AB. And then he does one with aging. See, and these all say the same thing. Aging, fight with the blood type diet. And then allergies, arthritis, cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, fatigue, menopause, and that's that. So I've got some research to do, see if I can find them on thrift books or um, somewhere else so I can get those. So the itching in the eyes and everything could be possibly if I was digging in in the planters and mixing stuff up and everything all today, and all that stuff got up all over me and everything. And I had my shower before I went outside. I didn't take one when I got finished. I'm just like, that's just sweet. But I did wash my hands and everything, and I should have washed my face, but I didn't. So that's all me. So, but, um, well, one of the main things I want to show y'all, and then I'll get into the book, is when I'm having a allergic to whatever it is, and it's always a 2-week process. This is what happens now. This is starting with my hands again. So I just like, so it's a little bit irritating, and I'm a little bit confused about why it's my hands now again, but that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can find which finger. So if you, I'm gonna try and show y'all what that finger looks like. If y'all can see all those little, looks like blisters and all. It is like blisters. It makes me think of, because I was like, you know, I'm gonna try to show them tonight, and it goes down. All right. So there's my thumb. All right. Clear that off a little bit. There we go. All right. So then the peeling. Okay. So the best finger to show the cuticles. Well, my doctor goes, oh, that's, age or whatever. No, it's not age. My cuticles used to do this all the time. And it was like, growing up, it was like, oh, let's make, you got to take care of your fingernails. Da, 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 da. Well, that's not it. On the side of this index finger, you can see it peeling and stuff like that. So that is from the swelling, it's from the reaction, and it's from, to me, it's like little tiny blisters. If you think of a second-degree sunburn, when it sits there and the little blister starts to come up and everything, that's what it looks like. So this finger, I am going to trim my fingernail off. And I know it's something because my fingernails are not brittle, but they're not like they were. I can say it. It's like they're dead anyway, but I mean dead in a different way. And let me get this right. And the reason I don't trim my fingernails down when the skin is like this is because my skin splits. All right. So, all right. Now you probably can see this one better. This is my index finger on my left hand. And you see how it's all dry and gray, and that's splitting underneath the fingernail. It is separating. And yes, it hurts. But I was like, I want to show y'all that's some of a reaction of eating foods that your body doesn't agree with. So, and I'm like, why is my finger? And I could never figure out, years ago, what is going on with my finger? Why is it like, and then when it started happening, I realized, I'm like, oh, another light bulb goes off, because then it's like, oh, Now I understand why this used to do this in my 20s and my 30s and my 40s and could not figure it out. So, did I have alpha-gal all this time? There's times I probably do have alpha-gal because this is part of the reaction. And it's all underneath my fingernails. So when it goes underneath my fingernail, if you see here, it's supposed to be clean cloths here, but it's not. And my fingernail is discolored underneath here because the bumps, the swelling and everything is underneath that fingernail. So I will not cut those because then my finger, like right here where it split, it will split. I will have to take a band-aid and put. Then you understand what I was doing back in a few years ago. I would put a band-aid or ace bandage on to keep the fingers and all together so it could heal. Cause yeah, that sucker hurts. Think of a paper clip, a paper cut, paper clip. Yeah, paper clip, paper cut, and that's what it feels like. But just not a paper cut. You didn't cut your finger; it just splits. So I was like, okay, so I really need to start doing some more reading. And so that's when I start, because Heather had asked me about have I read the book, and I was like, not. I was skimmed through it, but I haven't really read it because they want me to come up on their Wednesdays, and I missed that tonight. I don't think they went live. That was earlier. Anyway, so I was like, I was reading it, so I did read it. I assume, I guess, they say most people are type A anyway. So that's why the things I was reading, I like to eat anyhow. Um, Other than that, it's either A or AB or something like that. Now, my son I live with, when he was born, and my older son, when they were babies, they did type them and put them on their baby cards, and he's at A positive. And I know my ex is an A positive, so most likely I'm A positive. So I was like, okie dokie. So with all that, I was just like, all right, I got a notebook, and I'm making a brand new notebook, writing down everything I'm eating. Not much as how calories and all this other stuff, just what I'm eating. So if I have like eggs and sausage, it's 2 eggs if I put any seasoning in it, and the turkey sausage, and then how I cooked it. Did I bake it? Did I put? So I did. Since this all happened again without using that cast iron, um, I tried that cast iron is just something else is wrong with it because it doesn't stay. Everything just sticks to it. It doesn't stay like the oil in it are coated, so it's not like kind of like non-stick, but it's just bad. So I was like, forget it. I'm not gonna cook in it anymore. Um, Now tonight, my son does have a cast iron wok he cooks in, but we don't eat it out of that every single night. So now tomorrow he's cooking chicken, but he won't cook it in that cast iron. He'll cook it a different way. Um, so I am looking at getting a new skillet, looking at different ones. And in this book, he does tell you about different cookware and utensils to use and all. Um, I'm just going to go over real quick a few things like for type A's. I want to go in the history where he thinks he found this information. So, because I don't agree with that. Um, this is interesting because he talks about the difference that food makes. He talks about proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, and minerals. And this is where the blood type comes in. But yeah, I might do it. I'll probably do like a podcast on this and go into it deeper. But as far as all right, so type I'll skim through it so y'all can. Type O, it says thrive on a high animal protein diet with original blood type. O's have digestive systems for meats, stomach with high acid levels that break down food quickly and metabolize that distribute for maximum utility. All O's can consume poultry, but is a secondary. Type A, though, meat is used for fuel for type O's. It's poorly absorbed and purified by type A's, who thrive on a diet vegetable protein. Soy protein should provide the bulk of meat in a type A. Seafood and tofu can replace meat. Meat is poorly digested, increased digestive toxins in the type A system, and is stored not as muscle building protein, but as fat. Occasional lean organic chicken is acceptable, but it should be included as the Asian style of cooking, almost a condiment more than a main course, which I thought was interesting. All right, so bees do quite well on variety meats. Interesting because bees adapt to dress more easily to dietary circumstances, either low or high protein. There also appears to be a direct connection between stress, autoimmune disorders, and the kind of protein sources bee uses. They do best on other forms of red meat, lamb, mutton, venison, and rabbit, as opposed to more ubiquitous beef. Bees should avoid chicken, and so in a society focused on chicken as a major food source, giving it up must one of the most difficult adjustments for type Bs to make. Um, but it says chicken contains a type B lectin in its muscle tissues, particularly in the breast meat. This lectin disturbs your system and can potentially lead to strokes, autoimmune disorders if you tend to eat chicken often. Now, this is coming from this guy who wrote this book, not me. And that's talking about the blood type B. But ABs are unique in their relationship to meat because their blood type contains both elements of A and B. So they seek protein from seafood and tofu, but like bees, their systems also accommodate alternative meats such as lamb, mutton, venison, and rabbit. So he talks about that and everything. And then he goes in about fish, dairy, and eggs. Alrighty. So then it goes on about dairy and protein, oils and fats, nuts and seeds, beans and legumes, soy, grains, vegetables. And this was I thought was most interesting because I know some people who are type O, and it sits there and it says type O's nightshade vegetables such as eggplant and potatoes can cause arthritic conditions in type O's because their lectins deposit in the tissue surrounding the afflicted joints. I was like, okay, I need to tell those people about the potatoes. But type A's, it said vegetables are crucial. But type A, and it says it should be consumed raw or steamed and to preserve the nutrition. Peppers aggravate the type A digestive system and do the moles and fermented olives. I'm like, you are kidding me. I just had them put olives. I just put olives on the grocery list. And they got me some olives. Like, I love olives. As in the lectins and domestic potatoes, sweet potatoes, yam, and cabbage should be avoided. Avoid tomatoes that are rare. Avoid tomatoes that are rare vegetable classified as, yeah, I can't pronounce that word, which has a deleterious effect on type A system. Like, aha. So there's those bells going off like, now I know and I understand why some of the foods I eat aggravate me. Just do not work whatsoever. And then he talks about the maitake mushroom, eating that, and yellow onions, broccoli, and other beneficial vegetables include carrot, collard greens, kale, pumpkin, and spinach. Garlic, a natural antibiotic immune system booster, is also good for the blood. So I was like, okay. And he talks about fruits, the same as he did with the list, but it's more in detailed. And I was like, about juices and fluids, spices and herbs, and condiments, herbal teas, and then miscellaneous beverages. And it was so funny because I know somebody who's a typo and she doesn't like coffee. And I said coffee was not good for her. Good for him. But I know somebody who's a typo that can drink coffee. So everybody's body's different. So yeah, and I'm so thankful that I love coffee and it says coffee is okay. And then it talks about the green tea and then red wine and then just says all other beverages should be avoided. But I'm just like, oh my goodness. So that's why I was going back through the list and I was looking at and it said I was also talking about avoiding ketchup as part of the condiments. I mean, all right. So let's see here. All right, I said it should avoid pickles and pickled foods, which have been linked to. I've never heard of the pickled beets and all that being linked to cancer, but that's what his research said. It said ketchup should be eliminated because of neither the tomato nor the vinegar is digestible. So for typos, it says those can tolerate tomatoes, but ketchup, such as because it has vinegar in it, should be avoided. So I was like, okie dokie. So then it has better condiments for your blood: chili oil, chili powder, hoisin sauce, miso, tahini, and tamari. So I know tahini is made from sesame seeds. And of course, miso is a soybean paste. Tamari is thicker than soy sauce with a mellow flavor. Made from soybeans and excellent for basting meat or vegetable dishes. I'm going to tell you, some of that stuff is expensive in the grocery store. But if you get your own sesame seeds, it's just sesame seeds and oil ground it up together. That's all tahini is. Then you add flavoring in it if you want to. So I'm like, okay, there's a lot of reasons why a lot of things make sense now, you know. And then going back over here, looking at the list, and you want from the store. Well, some of these vegetables aren't in the store. Spices. Well, I know alfalfa sprouts are domestic artichokes, Jerusalem artichokes, beet leaves, broccoli, carrots, chicory, collard greens, dandelion, escargot. There's the snails. Garlic, horseradish, kale, kohlrabi, leek, romaine lettuce, okra, red Spanish onions, yellow onions, parsley, parsnips, pumpkin, spinach, Swiss chard, tempeh, tofu, and turnips. Now, like I said, some things are in the grocery store, but a lot of things that is. Then my romaine lettuce, I did grow that, so we planted that today. And then the leek, I don't think it did anything. I haven't been able to get to it because of the pepper plant. But I think the pepper plant is finally dying down. Because it still has flowers on there, but the peppers aren't getting as big. They're real little. I've got like 5 or 6 tomatoes on there. They're turning yellow. I didn't want to pick them yet, so I'll pick them tomorrow. Now, with the experimenting with this, growing my own peppers and growing my own tomatoes, even the little tomatoes, I had no issues with it whatsoever. I didn't have heartburn with them. I didn't ache with them because they're nightshades. They're supposed to, make your inflammation worse. It didn't make. Now I know I have arthritis in my fingers. It did not make that worse. Um, so I'm just like, I'm gonna grow my own. So Monday night I showed y'all the seeds I got from in my gardener. So I was like, I'm so excited because next year I'm planting those big juicy tomatoes, and I'm gonna put them. I'll probably keep one in the front, but I might probably put it in the back. It just depends because if they grow really tall, then that block that window. But maybe that'd be a good thing. Anyway, it won't. We have a camera out there. So, and then the neutral as arugula, asparagus, avocado, bamboo shoots, beets, bok choy, caraway, cauliflower, celery, chervil, coriander, white and yellow corn, cucumber, daikon radish, and fennel, fiddlehead ferns, ferns, bed lettuce, Boston lettuce, iceberg lettuce, muscoon lettuce. I ain't never seen that. Abalone mushrooms? I've never heard of those. And then enoki mushrooms, maitake mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, tree oyster mushrooms, mustard greens. And he says green olives here. But back here he was talking about the olives. I guess that's the black olives he was talking about. Because I was like, I like olives. You know? So, because there are black olives, there are green olives. Yeah, because it says the peppers aggravate the type A digestive system, as do molds and fermentive olives. So I'm quite sure he's talking about black olives because here it says green olives. So that's what I've got and got. So we have a little jar. I have a little jar of olives. And then green onions, radicchio, radishes, rapini, rutabaga, scallion, seaweed, yeah, shallots, Brussels sprouts, mung beans, radish sprouts, all types of squash. Now that's a win-win in my book because I love all types of squash. Water chestnuts, watercress, and zucchini. So I'm just like, I love squashes. Acorn squashes. So today I planted 2 different sugar pie pumpkins. Well, it's still sugar pie pumpkins, but from 2 different people, 2 different places because I want to see. I took out all that oregano that was in there, and there was something else growing. Now, I don't think it was the other pumpkin growing because that'd be too fast. So it was something else that was growing in there with the oregano, but I pulled most of that out so I could see what was going on and everything. But I'm telling you, if you plant that oregano just on it, it's gonna spread. I was like, that was pretty cool. So I might just throw some seeds out front just to see when it does. But I really liked with that, with the oregano. All right. So this tea, I don't know if y'all can see, is blue. So the tea bag is blue and the tea is blue. So we're going to taste test this. It does have a blueberry flavor. I can understand why my son likes it. It tastes like a mild sweet, like blueberry pie or something. And I don't have that. I don't have any sweetener in there. Yeah. Here's my Splenda. And they use regular sugar. And they used to get after me for using um what's the other one? Not Splenda. No, I use stevia is what I use. And well, Splenda makes a stevia, but the Splenda, and I'm just like, well, sugar ain't no different. Okay, it really tastes. I'm telling you, it's between a blueberry pie and blueberry Kool-Aid. Hmm, that is awesome. I like that tea. So that's what I was doing today. That's what I did yesterday with the garden and everything. And then I was like, I wanted to show y'all because I was like, I was going to clip because it was just hurting. I'm like, didn't realize, oh, I know what's going on. So that's why I sit there and did that. I'm back. So, oh, Kim, you're fine. Don't worry about that. And then, amen to that. It's supposed to be 68 tomorrow. We're getting rain overnight. So I was like, yes. The last couple of days we've had that AC back on. And then, I mean, it was nice, but it was still warm. Um, I think our next door neighbor's smoke alarm is going off because I can hear it. So as far as eating, still dairy free, we're still alpha-gal. Those cooking videos will be on the cooking channel, cooking dairy free and alpha-gal with Nancy. I will start. Basically, I do most of the things that they say to do and hear about what to eat and everything, but more. The only vegetables he talked about not to eat was Chinese cabbage, which is like your Napa cabbage and all. I love that cabbage. Red cabbage. I like red cabbage. It's pretty. But then, and white cabbage. Now, I don't know what white cabbage is. Okay, so I hear something. Sounds like a vacuum going off. She's not vacuuming. Oh my goodness gracious. So, I was trying to think. White cabbage. I mean, I know green cabbage. So what he's talking about is oh yeah, the white cabbage, the cabbage we get in the grocery store. Well, yeah, regular cabbage is white cabbage. I never knew that. I was like, I thought that was green cabbage. So I was like, oh my goodness, I love that stuff. Yes, I'm a when I get some broth, I'll be making the soup along with it. And what happened was the wonton soup. I was like, wow, this is not filling up as being so big. And I just completely was not thinking I was making them with the egg roll wraps because the wonton wraps are smaller. They're more of a square than the bigger egg roll wraps. So, but I'm going to do some other things with the egg roll wraps too. And and I was like, but it still turned out good. I just, if you use water to make that, flavor your water, even with the broth, you can add seasoning to it and all. But they turn out so good. I love making those because I, going through this and everything, I don't know if it's, the pork and beef and everything, which it says the tests come back negative, but, when I eat it, this happens, you know, the fingers splits and the bumps and the peeling and everything. And I'm just like, okay, we start like from scratch, start at zero and go. Because the meat, he says poultry. All right, so under the meat portion is, it says men, women, children, lean meats, and then it goes, he breaks it down. I'm not doing it. But it says highly beneficial, none. And it says neutral, chicken, Cornish hen, and turkey. Leaves, there's no. And then avoid. Bacon, beef, ground beef, buffalo, duck, goose, ham, heart, lamb, liver, mutton, partridge, pheasant, pork, quail, rabbit, veal, and venison. So, it could be that my body, as I've gotten older, and shh, I'll never be that age. Anyway, it's just gotten to where my body is saying, no, we don't want those foods no more. This is what's going to happen if you keep eating these certain foods. So I am looking at you know, I mean, rashes are like getting other vegetables. And this one does. It does have in here about cooking and different recipes and everything. But he did also say to get the eat right for your blood type because that's more in detailed of things that the reason why and everything. Not the concept of how it came about, which is because he doesn't, my understanding him where I've read it, they didn't believe in the Bible and creation and everything. So I'm just like, okay, I kind of skipped that part. But yeah, when he's talking about not eating eggplant, lima beans, which is a bummer because I've got a recipe with butter beans to use. Domestic mushrooms, which is your button mushrooms. So that's totally different than your portobello, shiitake, maitake, enoki, abalone. And I'm like, an oyster mush. I still have never seen, I'll have to look up abalone and see what it looks like. And then black olives. That's why he was talking about the olives back here when I was saying about um, when I avoid pickled foods, which, which I don't think pickles food has been linked to cancer. How he's got it came up with that. But let's see here. And he says peppers aggravate the type A digestive system as mold and fermented olives, which is means the black olives. So I was just like, alrighty. And then Greek olives, Spanish olives, green peppers, jalapeno peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers, sweet potatoes, red potatoes, white potatoes, tomatoes, and yams. So my experiment was growing my own tomatoes. But when he says tomatoes, it does not specifically say like red tomatoes or yellow tomatoes or cherry tomatoes or anything. So that might be more in the first book. But I do know growing my own, the little yellow pear potatoes, my body did fine. Growing the banana peppers, my body did fine. It doesn't list banana peppers, it just says green peppers, jalapeno peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers. So I guess that's like your bell peppers. No, which that I understand because I know when I eat those, I get the worst heartburn ever and an acid reflux. Oh my goodness. I can, if I eat those and I go to, I mean, this is hours later, supper time is between, it depends on the days. Usually between 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. Depends on, they eat early because of Anastasia taking her medicine, her stuff for her allergies, dairy allergy. I eat a little bit later because if I eat too early, I'm snacking at nighttime. So, but I do not, so, all right, say 5 o'clock Eastern time, which would be 4 o'clock for a lot of people, and the time goes on. Plenty of time for my food to digest and everything. And 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, it's all up in my throat and I'm choking and I'm hacking. That's if I eat peppers and red tomatoes. Alrighty, I'm back. So, um, we're talking about peppers, and that's the same way eating spaghetti. So, the red tomatoes, it's always been that way, and I can have really bad heartburn. So I was like, that's why when I so we plan dinners and everything so that I know what the answer. So it's like tomorrow is they found Swanson was making a ramen broth now. So and it is really good. So they use that and do a chicken noodle dish with that. And then Saturday would be spaghetti. So I know ahead of time what Saturday's gonna be so I can fix me something else. I'll probably I got some turkey burger I need to thaw out, so I'll be making something with that for my dinner Saturday night. Um, and then it's like tonight we had fried chicken with corn and potatoes. And yes, I did have some potatoes. I had potatoes last week, and it didn't hurt me, but it didn't make me feel blah or anything. But I know what they talk about not eating the potatoes. But we've used to eating stuff like that growing up because that's what was affordable. And also, it's like changing things a little here and a little there for the most part. And I'm just like, fuck cabbage. So that's my whole thing to also see if it's, you know, the pesticides or whatever they're spraying on the food that we get from the grocery store. And it's understandable because it's a mass production. Because there's people who go to the grocery store. You need to go to the grocery store. Not everybody can grow their own food. So you have to go to the store and get food because you need food so you can eat and survive and do things. So it's just like, ah. So I did get some apples. I'll be making something with the apples. Um, I've got pumpkin seeds and prunes. So I'll be doing stuff with that. Now, as far as sweet potatoes and all, we really only eat sweet potatoes twice a year, Thanksgiving and at Christmas, and that's it. And they get the canned yams, whatever they are, um, to make the sweet potato casserole. Just during the year, I know I could put it on the grocery list. And I trust my son. I know he needs to look for food. I taught him what to look for food. So he's taught Jessica my daughter-in-law to look for food. Anyway, so and they said a lot of times the sweet potatoes are already rotten and they don't put them out. And I'm like, yeah, because they allow them to sit in the back too long. So, and I'm like, am I thinking about trying to grow my own sweet potatoes or potatoes? No, I would like to, but I like to grow some other things instead. So, but I did plant beets again. So I'm like, okay, this time, because the soil and the buck and the little small containers, I went and mixed it up because the bottom it was back to rates organic soil, which really didn't do anything. So, but I mixed it all up so it could be all together with the good soil. And then I could tell that next year I'm gonna have to buy some of that. It's called Happy Frog soil. So probably like 2, maybe 3 bags, because I want to fill the containers all the way full. Because when it rains and it gets wet, it gets compacted. So I want to try to fill them up as much as possible. So and then greens, I love all kinds of greens: turnip greens, mustard greens, kale, spinach. I rather, I like all that, so that doesn't bother me. And then, Anastasia likes fennel. I'm going to tell y'all, fennel tastes like black licorice. If you don't like licorice, you're not going to like fennel. And it smells just like it. And it's like, Anastasia and I love it. But like I said, fennel, when it says it smells and tastes like licorice, yes, it does. Um, Cucumber, we got one cucumber this year. It was about this big. I was like, oh, it was so cool. To me, that was a win because we grew one. And it did grow. It grew really, it was viney, but I was able to fix it to where it was on one of my tall things for my wind chimes. So, but I didn't have no more. I don't have a wind chime, so I put that out there, and it just didn't do after that. So, but I do know if I could water they were in the whiskey barrels, and the water would puddle, and then it would go down, and then like, what's going on? Because sometimes it looked like it was dry, and then sometimes it looked like it was too wet, and so I don't know. I just know I just went out there and watered everything today, just because seeds are just planted and everything, and that tomato. That's why I was messing with the tomato plant yesterday because I undid it all. It's kind of like gently let it fall because it's still loaded with green tomatoes. I'm sitting there talking to it. My son goes, "Who you talking to?" Well, a neighbor did come home, and I was talking to him a little bit, and then I was talking to the tomato plant. And so I was just like, okay, I got to figure out what's going on because it still got loads of flowers on it and everything. So I was able to get that up because I put like two or three in there, and like two of them grew. One grew really well, and two or three seeds. So I was able to just kind of like put my arms around and pull it up and, tie it back up and everything. And when I did that, six of them turned. I mean, it's like overnight. They're on a half, yellow. Tomorrow they'd be good to be picked. And I was like, I see. So now next year I know to get tomato cages and everything to help that stand up straight. That banana pepper did very well. I was impressed. So next year I'll probably may put that in the front and put the tomato in the back. I don't know, we'll see. Because I don't want to plant all the same thing in the same planter and everything. But I am curious because I did plant 3 garlic cloves in that with the tomato, and they was putting out the talls called garlic scapes, and then trimmed it, and then it's like they went, it was nothing, and I couldn't find the garlic anymore either. So I'm curious if it's gonna just run dormant, and then over the winter, then next year we'll have like loads of garlic. That'd be fun. They get a couple of green bush beans. The corn, just I don't know what's going on with corn. I just don't. I'm gonna try again next year in a different container for the corn, just to see. So, well, like I said, I'm going to start adding the things here. I'm gonna get the other book, and I always, if y'all go back and look, I get leeks. I love leeks. If it's supposed to be like a onion, but it doesn't taste like an onion. It has a different type of taste of itself. And Joy goes, "You eating rabbit food?" I'm like, I guess I am. But I can tell y'all this. When I do eat what's on these lists and everything, I lose weight. And my body doesn't hurt as much. Now, as far as like the fruits, the apricots, blackberries, blueberries, boysenberries, cherries, cranberries, dry figs, fresh figs, grapefruit, lemons, pineapple, dark plums, green plums, red plums, and prunes. And when he was talking about, let's see, if it, I can find it. He's got nuts and seeds, legumes, oil, fats. Because he was talking about fruits and vegetables. Nuts and seeds, soy, beans, legumes, vegetables, or fruits. So for type A, he was talking about high potassium fruits that may substitute for bananas are apricots, figs, and certain melons. And he does say avoid honeydew and cantaloupe, which makes sense because we used to get honeydews all the time, and it's like we eat maybe half of it, and then nobody want any more, so the rest of it go bad. So it's just like, why we put that on the grocery list when really nobody eats it? Nobody really likes, they don't like it. So, and it says, so go back to substitute for bananas or apricots, figs, and certain melons. Pineapple, however, is an excellent digestive aid for type A's. Oranges are a stomach irritant for type A's and should be avoided. Grapefruits and lemons are excellent for type A's. Grapefruit has a positive alkaline effect after digestion, and lemons aid digestion and clear mucus for type A's. So, but he was talking about, I don't know if it was him taking lemon and making just like warm lemon water. So I've done that, and I'm just like, okay, dokie. It's like, that's why Anastasia likes lemons so much. And she loves lemons. She'll just eat the lemon. She'll put some sugar on it. I don't even think she put sugar on it. Cut it up, eat the lemon, and there you go. And then, she'll brush her teeth afterwards. But I was like, yeah, this is very interesting. And like, if I had to give up cabbage, I would give up cabbage just to see. Because that's cabbage makes you coleslaw and the sauerkraut and stuff that, and I like to eat too. So everybody's body's different. What works for me is not eating the red meat and the pork. So I've just got to eliminate that. Last night they had potatoes and green beans and sausage, pork sausage, but there was the link sausage, and everything. So they cooked that. I cut up cabbage and put some kidney beans I made, um, an onion and yellow corn, and something else. And then I put some mayonnaise in it and some butter on top. And I baked it till the cabbage was tender and everything. And I was like, I ate it all. I was trying to save some for a video. It didn't happen. But it was really good. So that was my meatless dinner instead. And I was like, so sometimes what I'm gonna start doing is the nights that they have, like, if they like spaghetti, they have spaghetti Saturday night. They had the sausage last night. If they do, it's gonna be really hard not to have chili. But maybe have that once in a while. Because it's, you get the cold weather stuff, the roast and the potatoes and carrots and the chili and all that. And I have made turkey chili when I treasure home. You can search for that. I'll be redoing that on Cooking Dairy Free and Alpha Gall. But the cold weather is starting to come, and it's like the cold weather food and everything. So I will be adjusting for that also. Um, I really would like to try to get some. Now Cornish hens are expensive, but it's just to get one and see how it will do and everything. Oh, and then okay, so here's the joke of the day. Got up this morning, did the things I need to do, got my coffee going and everything. They had to go to the store, Anastasia was in class. I took a shower and everything. Sat there for my day. I edited videos and everything because I wanted to wait till Mom and Dad got home before I went out and doing things because my hip was really hurting, and I'm just like, okay. And I was like, I said to myself when I got up, come back and make the bed. Make sure you take your nettle. Yeah, make sure you take your nettle. Told myself that. Nope. Sat there, went about my day. I was feeling pretty good. And after I got out, finished outside, I guess it was about, I want to say noon or so, maybe a little bit later than that. And I'm like, oh, why am I hurting so bad? I sit here and I'm like, okay, why am I hurting? I'm just sitting here thinking and everything. Yeah, because Anastasia had her last class. I was like, oh, I said, all right, I know that this is from the outside being outside. So I laid down. I guess this is like 2 o'clock or so. And I'm laying there and I'm like, oh, you didn't take your nettle today. So this is what I take, and this is from Horback, for pain. And I'm going to tell you right now, my experience from just today, oh my goodness, all the pain that I normally would have and be the chronic pain and debilitating pain to where I'm be laying in bed all day long came back with a vengeance. And it's like my body was on. I'm like, I'm still here. I'm not gone away yet. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, what is going on? Then I laid there and I go, oh, I didn't take my nettle today. And I was going to sit there and take a nap, and I sit there to myself, no, get up. And even though it's later in the afternoon, take it. It will start kicking in soon. And it did. I'm just like, I'm still achy, So, so if you go on a scale of 1 to 10 of your pain being a 10, when you go and tell a doctor, we might as well double that number. They need to change that scale because 10 doesn't sometimes cut it. To where this was like a 4 or 5 today after taking this. So it's like, I'd rather take something all natural than take Motrin or something. Now, I'm not knocking it. If you need to take Motrin, if you need to take another painkiller, by all means, take it, because I'm telling you, probably if I could, I would. Because there are days it's just like you grit your teeth, so it's like, oh my word, you know. So, but I really try this out. I really like it. I did a video of the stuff I got from Teresa at Stringfield Witch Farm. Now I bought the feverfew, and she makes this with brandy alcohol, and you can make it with vegetable glycerin. And it says for pain or fever, 1 dropper full 3 times a day is needed. So I was like, I took it once, also with the nettle, because I want to see if that. but I didn't take it 3 times a day. So I was like, okay, I need to do what the directions say, it's suggested to do to get it in the system. So if y'all knew, I'm just curious why, you get medication from the doctor or whatever, or homeopathic or anything, it says 7 to 14 days, because that is the process of your body. It getting in your body working it in and going, oh, okay, this is what this is for, this is what you're for, and the brain and the body connecting everything and sending it where it needs to go and do what it needs to do. So, and then, you know, if you need, like, take this more than 7 to 14 days or other things. So it's like, oh, dude, people are still telling you it's a busy day all day long. The texting, the messaging, um, working on the channels, just, it's a going, going, going. And then doing lives 4 times a week. And I was like, first I was like, oh yeah, just, not what I'm thinking. I'm like, the other day I was like, what are you thinking, Nancy? But it's something I enjoy doing, something I want to do, something I want to share with everybody, because not everybody has the same food allergies, and food allergies can show up in different ways, and people don't know about it. You know, for instance, let me get something out here. I can. All right. So on, I will go with. All right. So type A is avoid bananas, coconuts, mangoes, cantaloupe, honeydew, melons, oranges, papayas, plantains, rhubarb, and tangerines. So say like well, I made banana bread. So the bananas so mangoes, I would do cantaloupe because we used to get cantaloupe. 2 or 3 days later, you're not feeling well, or you're like, and most people just chalk it up to, oh, I've had food poisoning, which could be possible and everything, but it could be your body rejecting or telling you, so you got ate something that I don't agree with and everything. Oh my goodness. Joy and Donnie. So, but not connecting all that information at the time, because, like I said, back, I feel like in the 70s when I was a hush hush thing. I had a cousin who had dietary issues and food issues and everything. Well, nobody told us that. They just told, oh, because she just wants to eat that way. Why don't you tell people about that? Then we would have like made her. It made us think that she thought she was better than us because she wasn't eating the food we had. And I was like, I don't. I was like, come on, break up people as not bad because someone has to avoid certain foods or anything. It's just sometimes what people have to do. Now with Anastasia, tomorrow I get my shot. Next week she gets hers. Well, she don't get a shot. Well, she does get a shot, but it's not an allergy shot. She gets a shot for her eczema. Her milk immunology is actually milk diluted with something, whatever they do. Now she's done so well. She starts on, I want to say it's organic milk. I'll let y'all know when that happens. What actually she's starting on. So, and she keeps going, not much longer, not much longer. She can have, when it's all said and done, she'll have regular yogurt, regular cheese, regular, they, but they tell them not like regular milk. It has to be like organic milk. So, I don't know what they talking about. So, um, me as the trees and the pollen, and could this be the from pollen and stuff? I really don't believe that. I believe it's still something I was eating. I'm eating something I've had, and my body is just like, yes, we're gonna sit there and do. Now we've done your, Now it's like my eyes, the arms, the hand. It's like, really? No, we're not. Now I have started thinking. I did a little bit of it. A 3-day fast. I did a 24-hour fast, and that was hard. So if I had to do a 3-day fast, I would have to really, really build up to it. Do a 24, then another time do a 48, and then another time do a 3-day fast. I just, no, cold turkey like that, that ain't gonna happen. There's no way. I don't know how people do that. And 24 wasn't too bad because, I could lay down and take a nap if I was hungry or do something else to keep yourself busy, and then, so what I did with the 24, I ate late one day. So like 6 o'clock. So 6 o'clock or so, 6 or 7, whatever. I ate later or late, and then had everything I wanted to have that night because I was still doing low carb. So ate late, had my snacks and everything, and then I don't think it was a Monday. I don't know. It may have been one day I did a live, but had that, went to bed and everything, and we got up the next day. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't the weekend because we were up at the same time for school and everything. So just kept myself busy all day long, and then ate supper the next night. So that was a 24-hour fast. And I was like, I don't know how people do this. I really don't understand how Daniel did that 30-day fast. I really don't. One, that girl loves food, but then, I think that's after a while you just like don't want food. So I know that I know when I did it. It was a couple of weeks ago. It was last week, or because it was so Tuesday we had the ramen, and that messed us all up. And then Wednesday, notebooks down there, we had something else, and I was just like, by Thursday, I was just like, mm-mm. By that time, I didn't want food. I didn't want to look at food. I was like, I was still eating because I knew you need food for your body to have fuel for your body to get up and do the things you need to do. And I'm like, wait a minute here. You know, something I need to think about this. So that's when I did the 24-hour fast because I was like, something's not right. And I'm just like, I'm going to clean my system out right now with that. And then I found this on Instagram. Let me pull it up. I don't think I took a picture of it. Hmm. No, I didn't. All right, let me get to this real quick. Because this is very interesting. I saved a lot of stuff. Da 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 da. Pass it. I don't think. Oh, there it is. So I'm gonna read this to you. It says Jesus died at 33. The human spine has 33 vertebrae. The same structure that holds us upright is the same number of years Jesus walked on this earth. We have 12 ribs on each side, just like the 12 disciples and the 12 tribes of Israel. The vagus nerve runs from your brain to your heart and gut, calming the storms inside your body, just like Jesus calmed the storm, and it looks like a cross. I'll show you the picture here in a minute. Laminin, the protein that literally holds your cells together, is also in the shape of a cross under a microscope. The very structure holding you together is a cross. Jesus rose on the third day. Science tells us that when you fast for 3 days, your body begins to regenerate. Old cells die, new ones are born. Healing begins. Your body literally resurrects itself in 3 days, just like Jesus resurrected in 3 days. That's not a coincidence. That's the signature of an artist on his artwork. It keeps going. Your heart beats. Your heart beats with God's rhythm. Your brain lights up when you pray. Your tears change chemistry depending on joy or grief because Jesus holds our tears in a jar. Your blood speaks just like the blood of Jesus speaks for us against the enemy. Your bones store memory. Your body worships God whether you realize it or not. We are fearfully and wonderfully made by an artist who left his signature on his greatest artwork, you. And here's the wonder. Jesus didn't just create you, he wrote himself into your very DNA. He formed you with the intention and breathed life into you because he wants more than for you to simply exist. He wants to have a personal relationship with you. The Creator who holds galaxies together also holds you together. And he wants to make his home inside your heart. And he wants to be part of your life. You were created to have a relationship with God who created you. If you never invited Jesus into your life, it's the best decision you'll ever make. Pray with me. Dear Jesus, come into my life. Forgive me of my sins. I believe you died for my sins and rose again. Fill me with your Holy Spirit. Take control of my life. I love you. In Jesus' name, amen. So here is the picture. Here's one picture. And it shows your spine. So I'm like, that was interesting because I had, been hearing and kept hearing and been hearing and hearing, do a 3 day fast, do a 3 day fast. And I'm just like, will you do a three? And then that came across my Instagram. So I said in Bible studies, when this says once, God's saying something twice, when he says it 3 times and then multiple over and over again, listen. So I'm like, okay, Lord, but I've got to build it up. Even Dr. Berg says if you're going to do a 3-day fast, build yourself up to it. He goes, because some people can't just go cold turkey 3-day fast. I'm one of those type of people. I can't do a cold turkey 3-day fast. So I will. I'll let y'all know when I'm starting it again. Like I said, I did one a couple of weeks ago. It was a 24. Worked myself up to do a 48 and everything, and I'll bring y'all along with that because I'm curious. I'm really curious because I'm like 3 days. Now I know when I did the a Daniel fast, I did no meat for it was like 21 days. Between 21 and 30 days, my hands cleared up. Everything cleared up. And I'm just like, okay, the Lord showed you already what you need to eat, which that's good. And then this comes across. Joy and Donnie were telling me about it. I'm like, okay, all right, Lord, I'm listening. You know what is going on with my body. You know what I need. I'm going to listen because I want to be healed. This is a way of God healing me. He heals in different ways. So I'm like, Now, the other thing, last thing I want to talk about, because I know I'm like over an hour, is this mushroom complex I got from Wild and Organic. Like I said, I had everything was cleared up. Even I had a steak. I had not hamburgers, spaghetti. Because like 3 weeks or so ago, I had steak. I did fine. There was no reactions, no nothing. Everything cleared up. And I'm wondering if it is this brand of mushrooms, but it's supposed to have certified organic vegetable glycerin and purified water. No alcohol, no sugars. But they did have the Agaricus. I've never heard of that mushroom before. And they got the chaga, the maitake, the reishi, the turkey tail, lion's mane, and then again, that's another one, Agaricon, and shiitake. So I like, okay, was it the meat or was it this? So I stopped taking this again. So I was just like, okay, it's time to build up to doing that 3-day fast because I'm like, I've got to want this to clear up again. I don't want to have to wrap my hands in ace bandages or wear the gloves because this, like, I mean, this is rough, dry skin and it's scratchy and everything, and it hurts. I'm gonna tell you, it hurts. And ibuprofen, don't touch it whatsoever. I've already tried all that years ago. So, but I want to thank y'all for being here and watching and everything, all the TV viewers. Um, we will be, like I said, talking more about healthy living, what I'm doing. Um, get the other book because I'm curious to see about the other things he said. Um, give y'all updates about what I'm taking, what's working for me. This is the tea that I'm drinking tonight. It is the butterfly pea flower tea, and it is blue. It says stuff, and it tastes like between a blueberry pie and blueberry Kool-Aid. So let's see if I can see that blue coming off. So it does make it blue. So I was just like, that's so cool. So, and what they learned was that especially like aid in digestion and other things, and also I'll have to look it up. All right, so this is what's in it. Ingredients: chamomile, blue butterfly pea flower, sweet blackberry leaves, red clover tops, blueberry fiber. So that's why it tastes have the blueberry. Passion flower, natural pineapple flavor with other natural flavors. Pineapple pieces, mango juice granules. Because everything but the mango but could have, but that's all right. But there's things in here like the chamomile will help you sleep. Um, Passion flower, other things, the pineapple, blueberries are antioxidants, so is blackberries. Passion flowers good for like digestion and sleep, and so is pineapple helps with digestion. So I did not read the ingredients before I made this. I still wanted to try it anyway. So I was like, wow, that's and this is from Bigelow Teas. Bigelow Tea has that. I was like, ooh, so nice teas. So I need to get some more green tea coming out of that. I still have the mud water. I don't like them. I've got to try to see how I can make that taste better. It doesn't. Oh, but thank y'all so much for being here. Y'all have a wonderful and safe night. God bless. Stay safe. We love y'all, and we'll see you next time on I Treasure Home.